Hello and welcome. It's Bobby at the Paper Jungle, and I wanted to share with you a project that I'm starting, a series. I've never done this before, so I hope it all works out like I hope. I am issuing a challenge to myself to see how many small Christmas gift projects I can make within the next few weeks. Somewhere probably between 1 and 15. I'm not really sure, but these are the papers I will be using. This is Graphic 45, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, and I have already made a project out of this prior to starting this series. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and they're all going to be things that some will be small enough to fit into a stocking, others will not. But they'll all be small enough that you can ship them in the mail if you need to send things to family and friends in other states. So that they won't cost a lot of postage. So this is the first one of the collections I'm using, and all of these come from Country Craft Creations. This next one is an old collection from Blue Fern Studios called Nostalgia. It is really beautiful. It's a winter paper, and you can see I've used quite a bit of it already. Then the third one I have is called Old World Christmas, and this is one of Tammy's exclusive collections. And it was a full sheet like this, but you can see I've cut it off and I've used a lot of the papers from the header sheet, or whatever you call it. And the next one is called Once Upon a Christmas, and this is another one of Tammy's collections. And this one I'm actually using for the first project in the series. And the last one I have, I just received last week, and this is Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Christmas Lodge. It does come with a sticker sheet. It's a beautiful collection. There's some of the cut-aparts in it. So I will be using each of these collections, and I thought it would be fun to kind of make a game out of it and kind of involve you guys. So if you would like to place a guess, how many projects do you think I can make? Only the shadow knows. So those of you more in my age range will remember that from a show many years ago called The Shadow, where they would say, "Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? Only the shadow knows." You might think I'm crazy. Maybe I am. I don't know. Anyway, if you would like to venture a guess from 1 through 15, how many do you think I will complete? I don't even know the answer to that yet, but there will be a few, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I will do a random drawing once I get to the end of this series, and whoever is the first person to guess the right number will win a prize. So that'll make it kind of fun, and I will see you soon. The first episode will air on Wednesday, the 12th of October, and if possible I might do a second project during the week, but definitely every Wednesday for the next few weeks. Alright, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Be sure you like and subscribe. Click that bell so that when you see the hashtag challenge to self, you'll know that one of these has been uploaded. Alright, thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye. Hello, it's Bobby at the Paper Jungle. I am back with the third installment on How Many Can I Do? And this one is a small one, folio. It has to be a folio. It doesn't have any chipboard in it. So it's just very small. It will be easy to mail. This one is using Blue Fern's Yuletide. And I have added some snowflakes to the front. And the spine and back is very simple. Very pretty. Paper is just gorgeous. And I just made a closure with a magnet, and I have it underneath a snowflake. It was an afterthought. I wasn't going to use a magnet, but then things change. So on the inside you have 2 pockets, and I've used some greenery, the Heartfelt Creations small poinsettia die from Country Craft Creations, and I have a slot in each one of these pockets. This one has a little journaling card, and this is the size of a gift card. I just cut it out to simulate that a gift card will fit in here, and then I cut out a film strip. You can put photos behind it, and then add some white paper behind the photos. And then in each pocket I made a Polaroid. And this is a die that I got from Tammy several years ago. It was a Bo Bunny die, and it had this frame in it. And what I did was, it cuts out the heart at the bottom, and then I cut out 2 red ones to put back in there. And then this is the cutout from the center of it, and I'm going to send that along so that the recipient will have a what do you call it? I can't even think. A template to cut their photo. And then in this pocket I added a little envelope, just a folded envelope, and it just tucks back in this little spot here. That's the only thing different there. Each one of them has the slot pocket. So that's my little project number 3 for how many can I make. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Okay, for this project, I am using one 8.5 by 11 sheet of artisan black cardstock, and on the 11-inch side, I have scored it 1/2, and then I've turned it around and scored it 1/2 again, all the way down. Then what I have done on the middle, get it in here, I have scored it 5 1/4 and 5 3/4. This will give you a small little spine. Then we're going to turn it to the 8.5 inch side, and we're going to score it 5 1/2. Then what I did was, on this long side where you scored the 1/2 inch, I took out a little V-notch just so that these would fold in. I wanted to have a nice rolled edge for my closure. And then these pockets will fold up. Now when you cut out this centerpiece here, you have your spine area cut to the outside edge of your score line, so you get rid of that bump. And then you'll do the same thing over here on this side. Cut out a little V-notch, and then taper your top edge on these little pockets. So I am going to add some art glitter glue. As soon as I get a hold of it, I am. I want to glue these 1/2 inch pieces down. Well, I haven't used my glue for a couple of days, and so I need to mess with the tip a little bit. There we go. It must have a little bog in it somewhere, because it's not wanting to come out. It can be ornery sometimes. It's been pretty cold here in this part of Texas, so I guess I'm going to have to start taking it in the other room like I do in the dead of winter to keep it from clogging up on me. And we're going to burnish this down. Carried away there with the glue. Either it doesn't come out at all, or it comes out too fast. No middle of the road. And then we'll glue this one down too. Try not to be so overzealous with my glue this time. Get those to lay down nice and flat. And we'll do this side the same way. This is a real quick, easy little project. A good way to send photos and things to other families and friends if you have people in other states, which most of us have family and friends spread out all over anymore. I know I do. But jobs and what have you take people to other parts, and you don't really get to share the holidays like you do when you're all in the same state, or at least within driving distance, and we are not. We are too far away. I have people in Florida and Indiana and Colorado and Washington, so they're spread out all over. So there is your basic little project. Now, for the front cover, I'm going to open this out flat. It just makes it easier to get a nice, and I have inked everything in black soot, but very lightly. I am going to put this down on the front. This is the Blue Fern, what's it called, Nostalgia, I think. I'll have to look and see. I have so many different paper collections. I don't want to tell you wrong. And this is just going to go on the front. And I have a piece for the spine. We'll just get the front and back covers while we're here. This thing goes together so quick. Most of these little projects I've been making for this series are really quick. Quick and easy, and they don't take a lot of paper or any of that. And then my back piece is this one with the bird and isn't that pretty? These Blue Fern papers are so pretty. It's hard to choose which side you want because they're all just gorgeous. And they're really heavy quality. So here we go with this one. I just love that lantern. I think it's so pretty. And there's that. So there's our front and back. Just that quick. Now on the inside, see how nice that rolled edge is? It just looks really pretty. On this left side, I'm going to put this down here. And I want to do that before I do the pocket, just so it goes underneath the pocket. And we can put our pocket down. That will close over the top. And then I cut a piece of design paper and I put a slot in it. And I'll show you what I used. I've got this set of slot dies. It makes all different sizes. I used this one, but it wasn't the length I wanted, so I taped it down and cut it out, and then I moved it down a little bit and just lined up the slot and cut it out again. So that's what I used for that. But if you don't have a slot die, here's what you do. If you don't have a slot die, measure off your piece where you want to put it. Then I used the crocodile and I poked 2 of the smaller holes in it, and then line up your ruler with the bottom edge of the hole and cut it out, and then turn it around. See, I've got one cut. Turn it around, line it up with the bottom edge, just so you barely catch the edge of that. And then cut it again. And don't press too hard. Oops. I think I went too far. It's better to make several small slices as to one big one. And there's your slot. You'd have a slot. So you can do it that way. Okay. So I did use the die, and for this I'm going to glue along the top and around the 3 edges so that it's open in the center, and I can put some pieces down in there. this would be a perfect place to put a gift card. And then for the other side, just the same process. And I made a separate closure for this. I wanted to do a tab instead of a magnet or a Velcro. I'm not crazy about the Velcro fasteners. They're okay, but they're just not my favorite. I don't know why, they're just not. So there you go. There's that. And then we can glue this pocket shut. So this will give you the slot and the pocket. And here's our second pocket page, pocket piece. I've had these dies for a long time, and so many of my dies I don't use as much as I should, so I'm trying to. No sense in having them and spending the money on them if you don't use them, right? I just forget they're there. There's that. Let's move this up just a hair. There, that's better. And let's see if this goes here. Yep, I do. It does. So we'll put this piece in the center spine. Oops. There's that. And then for the little closure, I've got to fill it up, of course. Make sure that's down good. I made this little tab piece. And it is, let me give you the measurements, because on these little projects I'm not making a cut list. This is 3 1/4 by 1 1/2, and it is scored at 1 1/4 and 1 7/8. And then I cut out little pieces from the scraps, and I just rounded the corners. Here's the piece for that. And there's that one. I'm going to put a little embellishment or something to hold it on the front. But, oops, it's not down tight. Burnish it real good. That's no longer right. That is not all right. Actually, I think I got it a little too long. I'm going to trim off just a hair. Let me put some more glue under it. And my paper stuck a little bit. And get it off of there. That's my fault. I goofed. There we go. So it will go like this. And I'll put a little embellishment or something up here for this to tuck under. Still got a little piece of paper showing there. Okay, I'm going to attach this to the back. Like that. Let's see if that's where I want it. Yeah, and it'll still fold like I want it to. And then I think what I'll do is put a poinsettia up here on the front and tuck this right behind the poinsettia. You could put a magnet if you wanted to, but I really don't want to. Let me get the black out, because this needs a little bit more ink on the edge of it. Yeah, that's better. So there you go. That is a little folder. Now what I'm going to put on the inside, I used an old Bow Bunny die that I've got in my stash. And it makes, actually for these little pockets, I did make a couple of little inserts here. I'm going to make some more, but that'll be for that. And then I made 2 Polaroids, and they're from a die I've got in my stash. And I cut out some white to go behind them. I do need to, where's my little, here it is. I need to round the corners, because the frame is rounded. I don't want the corners to stick out. Let me round this one. Okay. I'm going to put just a little bit of glue on these. Just enough to tack it down a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't want to get carried away and have it come oozing out. Okay, that will attach to the white. Make sure I don't have any glue on my fingers. That will attach, and that will make your photo frame. And then I cut out a couple of little hearts to stick back in here. And I'll show you the die here. I think Tammy sent it to me 3 or 4 years ago with a design team collection that I had. So that will be that little photo frame. And those can fit in the pocket. And I'm going to include this with it so that whoever ends up with this little project will have a mat to show them the size of the photo they need to cut to go inside of it. So I will do this one. Then I cut out, oh, it's a fly or something, a little photo strip for each one. And I cut out a couple of arrows. And I don't know where I'm going to put them yet, but I cut them out. So I'll glue this other one down, and I'll find whatever I want for my stopper up here, and then I'll be right back. Alright, I just want to catch you up on what I've done to finish this. I did end up putting a magnet in here. I couldn't think of what else I might want to do instead, so I did use a magnet. I put a snowflake here, a large one, and two small ones there. I added some greenery and a paper bow to the front. Then I hid the magnet behind another snowflake, and then it's in this tab. And then when you open it out, I put on each of these pockets, I put one little flower. This is from the Heartfelt Creations small die set for the poinsettia. And then this acorn is an old die set I have, and as well as this greenery. And then you've seen this and this, and each of the pockets are the same. I did go over this little thing with light brown ink, coffee archival ink, just so that the lines showed up better. This is the size of a credit card or a gift card, so I put one of those in there just to simulate that you could put a gift card in a pocket. And then all I put on these was the red heart and an arrow. So those are both alike. In this pocket, I just made a little fold-up envelope that you could put something in. That's the only thing I added, and I just put it behind this little piece here. So that is it, and I didn't add anything to the back at all. So that's my little album. I like it really well. It'll go through the mail reasonably cheap. You can add photos, journaling, whatever you want. And there's room in those two pockets to put more than what I've got in there. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed. If you do make one, please share your photos with us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.